I think the third and probably the most dangerous lie that newbie investors are sold is that you're going to get rich being a wholesaler.
That is not the case.
So early on when I was wholesaling, I would wholesale to somebody who's still a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
we worked it out, right?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh yeah, man, here's like $4,000. And I'd be like, oh, wow.
Money.
He would take that property that I wholesaled to him, turn around and list it on the MLS and make 20 or 30.
Yep.
And after enough of like, oh, thank you. It got to the like, can I have some more?
Yeah, right. Like, more, please.
Like, what is going on here?
That is such a good point, because the hardest part, in my opinion, of real estate, especially in the beginning, is getting a good deal. Like,
absolutely.
Any deal will make sense at the right price.
Yeah.
So if you can get good at finding discount deals or deals below market value, like, I feel like that's really what wholesaling should be. And the actual assignment, the actual exit strategy of assignment.
It should be like acquisitions.
Yeah. Yes.
Versus dispositions. I think most wholesalers are good at finding the deal, which is what we call acquisitions, but they're piss poor when it comes to dispositions.
Turning it
or
into
selling
actual
the
money.
deal.
Yeah. Structuring it.
Because here's the thing, you're not operating from a position of power, right?
No.
So like motivated sellers, right? So if I know that the foreclosure auction's coming up and you have 10 days and you tell me you're not going to take my offer, I'm like, Greg, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If I'm an end buyer and you're trying to wholesale me a property, I know tops, you've got 30 days.
Yeah.
So I don't have to give you the best offer, especially if I realize you don't have a large buyer's list.
And you can't close.
Or you can't close.
Yeah,
so your
done.
option is either to assign this or pull.
Yeah.
And pull out meaning...
Cancel the contract.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Cancel the contract,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of wholesalers are kind of against the gun and they don't have multiple exit strategies. So that, and then it's the one-time quick hit, right?
Yeah.
Like the reason you do primarily fix and flip and I've kind of gone all in on buy and hold is the long-term wealth generation piece. Like if I can flip a house, I've got one right now. We could have wholesaled it and made 10. Instead, we bought it. We're spending $20,000 on construction, and we'll probably make 30.
Yeah, you're tripling your profit on the same lead.
On the same amount of effort, though.
Because
that's the important piece. Is the hard part is finding the deal. So if you're seeing like the check picks, first off, real men get wires, not checks. Yeah. I don't even attend closings.
No. I can't. I don't live in New York.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We had to put
even
a notary.
the San Diego deal, I didn't go to the closing.
We had to hire somebody who was a notary to have them as an admin because we do so many deals, and we were just like, we're not going to go to closing.
The mobile notaries,
that was great.
Yeah, they come right into your kitchen.
So I think you really have to look at this from the standpoint of if you're doing all of the work to find the deal, you've got to get to the point that you can pull the most amount of money possible out of that opportunity and not just settle for that quick hit. I mean, if you're going to make $10,000 wholesaling a deal, or if you keep that property as a rental and you're getting, $5K in depreciation, equity pay down, cash flow every month, plus a cash out refi on the back end of a BRRRR, from a wealth perspective, you're a million times better off than like, I made 6 figures.
Made 6K
deals.
Yeah.
Last thing I've got for you on the check picks, because most of them are fake.
Yeah.
They don't take into account all of the marketing that person did, all of the time that person did. And a lot of the times, like let's say I use my cash to purchase a property to then turn around and flip it. That cash I get back is going to be all of my money back plus my profit, not just the profit. So if you see somebody post like, I have a $100,000 deal, well, it could be true. Could also
it's probably not, because you're going to get like he said, the check is like the sales price minus the closing costs. So you don't have so it's
not the marketing, what I paid my
the
acquisitions
rehab,
managers, the holding costs, the overages. So, and that doesn't even take into account how you're then taxed on that money.
Oh, you're getting
hammered. Multiple exit strategies.
And just the key here is just make sure that like if you have a truly good deal, don't just try to immediately get rid of it to some other investor. Like if you know, and I think one of the most important skills is knowing how to evaluate a good deal. Because if you don't know your market, you don't know what a good deal is, you could think a deal is terrible, but it could be a gold mine. So you need to know the market, know the deal. And if you can wholesale it for 15, but then if you find a way to close on it, let's say you're a newbie and you don't have the money at the time to buy it, you could even partner with another guy, do a 50-50 or a 60-40 split and still make out better And the key is you're controlling the sale. Like when you're working with a seller and you know you're going to close, I have a lot of negotiation power because like I have the money in my bank and I'm going to buy the house. Like,
Well, and you have the confidence.
You have the
right?
confidence.
Instead
Yeah.
of like, geez, I hope I can find
I hope I can
someone.
find a buyer. Yeah. So it's and you get better deals and you end up getting better marketing campaigns because the return on your marketing is going to be based on a $50,000 profit, not a $10,000 profit. So it just makes it overall. You're working less and you're making more. You're just working. More
You're significantly
efficient.
less likely to become a millionaire if all you do is wholesale. So a quick recap on just the 3 lies that newbie investors are sold. First and foremost, that you're going to find motivated sellers or desperate people. It's not the case. I think Greg and I have kind of coined the phrase, you're looking for reasonable people who may have motivating factors going on, but they're not like, please take it from me.
Here's my house.
Yeah. The second one is that you can do this with like no time and no money invested. It's going to take more time, more effort, or it's going to cost more money than you initially anticipate. And the third and final lie that I think is the most dangerous that newbie investors are sold is that wholesaling houses, flipping contracts, you're just going to be a millionaire overnight. And the fact of the matter is, from a long-term wealth standpoint, if all you can do is wholesale properties, you're going to make the least amount of money as opposed to somebody who has wholesaling, flipping, buy and hold all in their toolkit. So you've basically got to decide, wholesaling can be a really cool job that pays you a lot of money. It's super easy to make 6 figures in this industry.
Oh, yeah.
I know I said it's not easy earlier, but if you put in the work and do the systems, totally doable.
Oh, very, and within a reasonable time frame, within a few years. It's not like
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
isn't like a 10 years from now you can have this.
No.
But it's very easy to get stuck making 100 or a couple hundred grand a year in this industry. And at the end of the day, you have a job. If you don't show up, you don't make more money. So make sure you're not getting sold a bill of goods, and that if you are going to enter into this business model, you do it with proper expectations.